Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining Widget's Way. Oh, people are coming in. Get y'all in here. Hello. Today I'm in Gardena, house sitting for a friend, and this is what I'm house sitting. Can you see the turtles? They're coming. And there's one right behind me. I don't know if you can see him. They're massive. They're coming to see if I have treats. Just letting people in the room. If anybody has a question, feel free to unmute yourself or type in the chat. I'm kind of in a weird spot. Oh, well, it's working for today. So hope everybody is healthy. As COVID runs rampant, it's coming through my household, hence why I'm not there. Everybody, please be safe, wash your hands, wear your mask, yada, yada, yada. We have new laws coming at us as of the first of the year. We're going to have some crackdowns with emotional support animals, which I am very ecstatic about. That happens to be where I'm going to be focused because we've been waiting for this for a long time. There are civil penalties for fraudulent doctor's notes and fraudulent tenant activities regarding emotional support animals. So I'm happy about that. It looks like there's light at the end of the tunnel. No more internet doctors, folks. It isn't going to fly. They have to have been seeing this physician for at least 30 days before they can write them a letter for an emotional support animal. So we will see a lot of those fly by the night companies on the internet and selling stands at the mall go away. I'm excited about this. Just so you guys know, I'm ecstatic because it tells me there's light coming from the end of the tunnel and we will get things situated and go forward from there. So I'm very excited about the emotional support standards and how they're changing for us. You guys, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. Planning on meeting with Mr. Michael Brennan, the attorney, probably next week, and sitting down and powwowing with him regarding a process and procedure to get those fraudulent notices out in the open and make them do it legitimately. The only downfall I really see to this, you guys, is our shelters are going to be inundated with unwanted pets because they're no longer emotional support animals. Cause effect, right? There's one for everything we do. So keep that in mind. Don't get too upset about it. But we do have some new restrictions and requirements in regards to emotional support animals that I'm really happy about. Oh my goodness, Ike, you are very close to me. He's a big guy. Here, let me see if I can get him off of here and show you very quickly. Here's Ike, and he's walking away. They're about 30 years old. And there's Ike over there, Mike and Ike. And they are extremely friendly, just so you know. Wouldn't be the same if I didn't have something odd I was coming to you guys with. Turtles and other things. Okay. One tenant paid $150 deposit and $10 a month for a dog. And then about a year ago, they said the dog died, so they stopped paying the $10. New dog now, California, can I charge $150 deposit? Deposits are refundable. Just hear me, okay? Pet rent is not. So a deposit goes back to the tenant if everything's clean and everything's orderly, but you can charge pet rent monthly. Anywhere, the going rate for corporate America is about $50 per pet, depending on the area. High dollar areas, yes, pet fee, dear, pet fee. You could charge a monthly pet fee. If you call it a deposit, it's refundable. So if it's a $150 one-time pet fee, that's all you're getting, honey. If you make it a monthly fee, then it's monthly. Okay, I hope that answered that question. I'm also house sitting a 5-month-old kitten that is currently climbing up the screen door. Oops. Or attempting to climb up the screen door. So very excited about next year, January 1st, with the new implementation regarding emotional support animals. We have a couple more things that are on the agenda. And like I said, first part of next week, I am plan on sitting with Michael Brennan, brainstorming with him, making sure I have a full understanding of what these new requirements are. And then I will start sharing them with you next week. Probably Wednesday. We may even have him join us if he's available for our Wednesdays with Widget. Don't quote me to that because I don't have his schedule in front of me. Hang on, I saw something else. Is it okay to start charging late fees? Late fees can be assessed starting in your county, Val, in October of this year. So for now, it could be October, November, December having a late fee. No late fees during the protected period or the transitional period. So from March to September 30th of this year, and March when the pandemic started, no late fees, but starting October, you can do late fees. Anybody have any questions? Anybody?
In the Gospel of Matthew, we read.
Oh, let me turn you up. My volume's really low. Okay, what was your question? Hi, what's your question? Nobody has a question?
I have a question. Hi, Patti. Season's greetings.
Hi.
Basically, you know, the street curb, the green grass is no longer green because of all the dogs on the street. And I tried saying something to people and they're really nasty, you know. And so I was just wondering what would be the best way to handle it? Turn it into cement, or what are the options?
Wood chips, cement, stones, pebbles, rocks. I wouldn't do big rocks because people throw them. But smaller stones, things like that. And then you're going to be sweeping up the stones and putting them back where they're supposed to be all the time. So remember this, sometimes if we trade it for something else, it becomes more of a problem for us. So keep that in mind. I know somebody that put bark in a very windy area, and every time the wind blows, they have to go buy new bark because it's at the neighbor's house or down the street or wherever. So it depends on your area, what you want to do, and what makes the most sense. I live in the desert, so I'd plant cactus everywhere to keep people out of my yard, but that's just me, okay? Just saying. Cactus is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sounds like
but you have to worry about liability with cactus, so you want to be careful. Don't do anything like that without considering the liability of a small child or someone getting injured by the cactus. It's not the best idea and not the most tenant friendly, but it proves the point when you want to keep people away. Okay.
Currently, it's like 80% bare. And I tried for the last 3 years, and every single time that's what happens, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's par for the course. You know, it's just something that we deal with in this industry.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Does anybody else have a question? April, I'm hoping you're available to talk to us briefly and give us a money update. Ooh, look, a turtle in the background. Can you see him? I know, I'm a goofball. I'm sorry.
Hi, Patti.
Hi.
Gaby. You're so cute with your turtles.
House sitting for a friend, they're not mine.
I love
I
it.
rode one earlier this year and both my feet were off the ground. They're actually pretty big. Yeah.
They're huge. Well, I typed it in, but I'll just say it. I have a person in Pomona that has an additional person there. My rental agreement says it's $100 for additional person. They're there during the weekend. They leave in the weekend, but they said they're just visiting. but this has been going on for like 2 months now. Can I send them like a notice saying that they owe the $100 for the additional person,
No,
like a rent increase?
no.
Okay,
Even though your lease states it, all they're going to say is that that person is there because of COVID. If they say that that person is there because of COVID, you can't penalize them for that.
even if it's in the rental agreement that they pay $100.
They have COVID protections right now. So here's my opinion, not my advice, because I can't give you advice. I'm not an attorney. Honestly, I wouldn't ask them for the extra money. I'd sit tight. And then once all these protections leave, I'd evict them for unauthorized occupants.
Oh, okay, but my
If
rental
you
agreement says they have
the-
like, unfortunately.
The rental agreement probably says that they need to pay additional funds.
Yes,
If you can't have any additional funds coming at the tenant during the COVID protected period right now.
right.
See how
okay.
that worked? So you want to be really careful, especially in LA County and LA City, because there's so many additional tenant protections. For me, it's just not worth the risk. Wait
Right.
until the dark cloud leaves. April Fool's Day is what I have my fingers crossed for. And then serve them a 3-day notice for unauthorized occupants.
Okay, perfect. Thank
But
you.
I would, if you accept the money from them or you ask them about the money, you need to understand once you do that, you created a tenancy. They're now your tenant.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so now you see where that gets a little bit more convoluted. It's better to leave them as an unauthorized occupant and just wait for the light at the end of the tunnel so that we can do something.
Perfect. And would that be a 3-day notice to?
Cure
Sure.
or quit? Yeah, it's a breach of covenant.
Perfect. What if they say, it's $100, can I just pay them?
Well, it's up to you what you want to do. It's an unauthorized occupant. You would have to allow them to put them on the contract and pay that $100 more a month.
Okay.
And here's me talking out loud. Please pay attention to what I'm saying. And this goes for everybody listening. It is a matter of time before the real estate market crashes. We're all in a bubble right now. Okay, you guys, if you haven't figured that out yet, supply and demand, prices are going through the roof. We're starting to see that taper down a little bit. We're still having an issue with supply and demand, but we're not seeing rents consistently going up so quickly. We're seeing them kind of top off. When this happened to us before was 2007 and 2008-ish. The market then crashed, and in order to keep the tenants in the property, we had to reduce the rent. Otherwise, we'd be flipping vacants all day long. And let's face it, that gets expensive. We don't want them to move out. We want them to stay. It's less expensive, right? Than new paint, new carpet. So keep that in mind as this evolves a little bit more, and as we start seeing all these trends that are happening with our economy. If that becomes the issue, we're going to be back to concession wars very quickly. So keep that in mind, please. I can't encourage you enough. Be ready to surf the wave and ride the curve, call it whatever you want, but it's coming. Okay. We can't keep paying $22 for 2x4s. It's just, it's ludicrous, and I'm just using that as an example, but rents are through the roofs. Housing market prices are through the roof. You guys know, I don't need to tell you. If you're trying to sell now. I don't know how long this curve is going to last before it crumbles. Fair enough? Just trying to be open and honest with you. Hello, Ike. Hold on, Val. Let me see what you're saying. We had a minor incident yesterday. A tenant's dog bit one of my handyman. Again, it could have been a nightmare. What could I do now to prepare for something like this? Could I force the tenant to get renter's insurance? The tenant did not even have permission to have a dog, no pet fee, etc. Serve them a 3-day curable breach of covenant to eliminate the dog from the property. Now that you know that it bit someone, because you have knowledge, if that dog then bites someone else, it could all blow up on you as the landlord because you didn't address the issue. Paying attention? So you want to give them a 3-day curable breach of covenant. Everybody, please be in mind, she is in Ventura County with her property, not in LA County. Okay. Oh, Kern County, even better. Okay. So at this time, she can do a 3-day curable breach of covenant. A lot of people do a 3-day quit and ask the tenant to leave once there's a bite at the property because of the liability that that creates for the landlord. Your call, but I tell them immediately they have to get rid of the dog. If you want them to vacate, then we're gonna have to have a I'm sorry, it's not police, it's a report from animal control documenting the bite and going that direction. Can you force them to get renter's insurance? Absolutely. If it's not a term of your rental agreement because you're outside of the county, you can currently do a 30-day notice to change terms of tenancy, asking them to get renter's insurance or whatever it is that you are requesting that they do. You cannot do that right now in LA County or San Diego County, just so everybody's clear. But she's in Kern County. And they're back to business as normal. I hope that answered that question. Is there a standard renter's insurance? What should it include? Usually there is. It works very similar to homeowner's insurance with the same types of protections, except there's no home. So what they're protecting is their personal belongings, any liability that they might have. You can get insurance policies that include dogs, etc. Absolutely, Val, anytime. So I'm here, you guys. But you can ask for insurance. Their policy is much less expensive than a landlord's. You guys all have insurance, I'm sure. You know that it runs about $1,000 a year, and our deductible is anywhere from $500 and more likely up to $3,000. And that's what our deductible is. For a tenant, it covers their personal belongings. Their deductible is usually $50. That's right, I said 50. And their payment is usually about $15 a month. So how I sell insurance and getting insurance to a tenant at move-in, telling them that it's a requirement, or even telling them prior to them moving in that it's a requirement. I usually use a couple of examples on how renter's insurance helps protect the tenant. And it really does. I was a renter for a period in my life. We had fires. I was evacuated. I used my renter's insurance. It was a great thing to have. Okay. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember all those fires that we had years ago in the Big Bear, Wrightwood, all of that mountainy area. I lived up there at the time period. They closed our town down. I couldn't go to work. We got evacuated out of the area. I went to the beach. That's where I felt the safest. And while I was out, I shopped for a new bed set, bought some clothes for my kids, and the insurance company paid for all of it. All of it. So how I sell it to tenants is, we've all had our car broken into. We all have. They break the window, and they steal your CDs and your jacket, okay? The insurance company pays for your broken window and your stereo that they took and nothing else. It doesn't cover your personal belongings. But this type of insurance, renter's insurance, covers your personal belongings wherever you go. So in the event somebody breaks into your car, it would cover those items. And that's how I sell it to a tenant. One of the other examples that I use in selling insurance to a tenant is, what if you flew to New York and the airlines lost your luggage? You know, with your laptop and your Rolex all in your suitcase, your renter's insurance would then kick in and help pay for your loss of personal items. See how that worked? So it's just another way that I sell that to tenants and let them know that they do have these available. And for us, when something goes bad, we have a habitability issue, we have to put them in a hotel. It's so much easier to tell them, call your renter's insurance, and I'd be more than happy to pay your deductible for you, because I guarantee you their deductible is not over $100, okay? Another trick with insurance is make sure that you, the landlord, or you, the homeowner, or you, the property management company, are listed as additional insured or interested party on the policy. Okay. And just for record, if you're managing investment property for profit, you want to be on everyone's insurance policy. All of your vendors doing work, you want to be listed as an additional insured or interested party. Same thing goes for your tenant's insurance, your landlord's insurance, and your vendors. Okay. So you want to be on everybody's insurance policy. That way, when something goes bad, it's much easier to handle from our aspect. Things go much easier. Ike's coming back again. He kind of creeps me out sometimes. He's massive. April, are you on and do you have a money update for us? I know a lot of people are seeing 3 to 6 months for payments. And we're getting frustrated. We're getting tired. I do know that Ed shared with us last week that he had a court case in the LA area. I'm going to assume the Valley, for an eviction. And they told the landlord, the tenant applied. They've done everything that they're required to do. At this point, you have to wait for the program, case dismissed. So we want to be cautious that we're not signing up for one of those and that we're doing everything by the book. I know that Michael Brennan has a process and procedure that I will not share, but seems to be able to be successful with those types of battles in an eviction. Okay. So if you have somebody that's not completely applying, call the Brennan Law Firm. We'd be more than happy to start eviction for you. Hi, April. Do you have a money update for me? Or anything odd that's going on with that? Or are you on the phone? I'm hanging out with Mike and Ike. Or are you typing? I'm very excited about next week, you guys. I am all for this emotional support animal stuff becoming more accountability is the best way that I could say that. They're holding tenants more accountable. No more fly by the night ESA letters. And as a licensed real estate broker, I can no longer write you the letter. It has to come from a medical doctor. Okay, April, I spoke to one of the leads at the program yesterday, and she advised me that they are working on applicants that are in more need of funds now. So they're going after the ones that have been there longest. Is that what she means by that? Because aren't we all in need of funds? I mean, just saying. I know I am. I don't know about the rest of you, but money's a good thing. The applicants that are not working or has exhausted their unemployment benefits. I got you. So for applicants that are in dire straits, they seem to be putting their attention there. Is that what you're telling us? Okay, so landlords, listen up. With that piece of information, this is what I would do. I would start calling the program and telling them they better hurry up because I'm going to lose my house to foreclosure if they don't. Wink, wink, wink. Everybody paying attention? They're helping people that are in dire straits. Now would be a good time to call them and let them know that this house is going to go and be foreclosed if they don't hurry up and pay us. You have no choice. Or you're going to start an eviction because you have no choice.
Hi, Patti.
Hello.
I just also wanted to share something that lead shared with me yesterday, which is the recertification process or the additional assistance is going to take a lot longer now because a lot of those accounts are being audited.
Okay. Okay, and that makes total sense because they're just trying to make sure they don't double pay, that they don't pay tenants. I mean, in the beginning of this, they were screwing up left and right. We had a tenant that got a check for $25,000. The tenant got the check for $25,000 and then told the landlord, unless you do this, this, or this, I'm not going to give it to you. What? Here's
And
what I
you
can tell you about. Here's what I could tell you about that. Misappropriation of government funds, last time I checked, was a felony.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yeah, and you
Don't let them
can
hold hostage.
you can upload your 3-day notices to the program. Some of the case managers will go back and review that and try to push things through. Honestly, it just depends on which case manager you have, how many cases they have, as far as how many loads they have to carry. So it's not, they can't give a time frame. So we're just gonna sit and wait.
Do we have to apply every month? Gabby, no, you don't. We know a secret. You can log into your account right now and ask for funds all the way through April of next year. Then you don't have to apply every month. It's already done for you. Right, April?
Correct.
It's much easier if you just add advance rents through March. Don't go past that though. Yes, it's a pain in the rear going in there every month on every application you have. So just ask for the max amount of funds. That should take you through to March. We're not seeing any payments go past March at this point, are we, April?
No,
Okay, so they're not paying past March of next year, but they are paying you in advance for those months. So just ask for it now. What's the worst thing they're gonna say? No?
if they already applied, all they have to do is call the program, have them reopen their application, and they can go in there and request the future months.
There
Simple
you
as that.
go. Simply said. Call and ask them to reinstate your case and go from there. I saw something else come in. What day should I serve a 30-day notice to terminate a 1-year tenancy? Tenancy expires on January 31st of 2022. It feels harsh to serve a tenant on New Year's Day. I got a question for you. What city are you in? What county are you in? Because you're not going to like what I'm going to tell you. San Bernardino, City of Colton. We cannot terminate tenancy with cause until after March 31st of next year. So April Fool's Day would be the first day that you could serve the notice to terminate tenancy without cause. Non-renewal of lease is not a cause. So as much as I hate to say this to you, you're going to have to keep them there on a month to month and then most likely serve them a notice to terminate tenancy on April Fool's Day. Unless things get extended. That's where we sit right now. Okay, so you have to have cause to terminate tenancy. Non-renewal of lease is not considered cause. Cause would be, and I got to be careful what I say because I realize some of you are in LA City, some of you are in LA County, and some of you are outside of that area. Some of you are in San Diego. So here's what I can tell you. Heavily populated areas come with heavy restrictions for us landlords. So in all of LA County right now and all of San Diego County, we're extremely controlled about what we can and cannot do. As far as the state goes, you can't terminate tenancy without cause. And sir, that is where you sit right now in San Bernardino, City of Colton, is you are under AB 832. Is this cause? Let's see. The tenant hasn't paid December rent. Let me stop right there and I'll read this in a second. Let me just stop, okay? I've been in this industry. It's bad. It's like 35 years now. I know I'm old. Shh, don't tell anybody. I would say that anywhere from half to 3/4 of my tenants never paid rent in the month of December. The reason being is they didn't have the extra money to have Christmas for their children and their families. So what they do statistically is use December's rent to have Christmas for their family. And then when they get their income tax refund, they pay back December's rent. I've seen this pattern for over 30 years. Don't panic, okay? If next month comes and you have no money coming in, that's when you need to go, But at this point, You would apply for the government funds, serve a 3-day notice. Okay? If they've paid up to 18 months, there's no more money for them. Just so you know. Housing is Key will pay 18 months of rent. Can I ask for October to present rents, or does that require the tenant needs to request more help? What city are you in? Tony? Oh, I already know. You're in LA City. Can't do anything right now. Except apply for more rent relief and ask for more help from the federal government. Because LA City, anything under RSO, they have a rent freeze. Are you under RSO, Tony? Because I'd have to really look and find out. You're under RSO, you're on a rent freeze. You can't do it. You can't do anything. Your hands are tied, girl. You cannot evict for November, December rent if they applied for additional rent relief in LA County. In LA County, Gabby, yes, you can. As long as you're not under RSO. But as Ed pointed out last week, he had a landlord, went all the way through trial, applied for the money, hasn't been paid yet. The judge saw that everybody's application is completely just waiting on the program, so he denied the eviction. Ouch. Now, we've seen evictions be successful if they haven't applied, haven't uploaded their documents, etc. But if the tenant's completely complying and you're just waiting on the government to pay you, I don't want to tell you don't evict because it's worth a shot if you're desperate. But at the same time, as soon as you get paid, you can only dismiss the court case, and whatever monies you spent that far, probably there's no refund on those. I mean, think of it this way. Your attorney pays somebody to prepare the paperwork, to file the case, and all of those things going on. So with that being said, it makes it extremely challenging for them to issue an eviction if the tenant is complying with everything. If they're non-responsive, I will tell you, you have a much better chance. If the status is non-responsive, call the program to confirm and then proceed with eviction. That is right out of the mouths of April, not me. Thank you, April. Under RSO, you're on a freeze. We can't do a whole lot of anything, okay? Like I said, heavily populated areas come up with heavy restrictions on tenants or I'm sorry, heavy restrictions on landlords. I know it's not the best news I have, but it's what I have to tell you. I'm just gonna go through the chat really quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, we'll go back to, hang on. 30-day notice to terminate. We can't terminate. Is this cause? The tenant hasn't paid December's rent. Don't want the tenant to stay. The owner is hesitant to apply for housing is key. The owner does indeed apply housing is key. Will they force the owner to keep the tenant if they pay December's rent? In order to do an eviction, you have to prove that you applied for housing is key. Keep that in mind. I hope that answered your question. In order to do an eviction right now across the state, you have to prove that you have applied for the money and waited at least 20 days before you can even file the eviction. Okay, so keep that in mind. And once they pay, you have no choice but to dismiss the unlawful detainer. I mean, if you do try to send the money back to the state then sends it to your tenant. Ouch. We do not want them getting that money, right? No, 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 no. But that's what happens. So if you get the money, the best business practice is to dismiss the case. So to be clear, a landlord can't terminate a one-year tenancy that naturally ends until after March. Correct. As per AB 832, that's what currently governs us, sir. Just so you know where I'm getting that information. You have to have a just cause to do an eviction. Non-cause does not count. Just cause varies by area. In the city of LA, it is a material breach of the lease unrelated to COVID. I can go get my cheat sheet if you guys want to know. But it's challenging, and it goes by city of LA has its own rules. County of LA has its own rules. County of San Diego has its own rules. And then we're getting more restrictive moratoriums like West Hollywood, Pasadena. They have moratoriums in place now that trump over the state law. Here's what I could tell you about restrictions, moratoriums, and laws, okay? And I learned this a long time ago. Whichever one constricts you the most is the one you have to abide by. So if you say, I'm not going to do this law because that's the state law and the city's law benefits me better, it's not how it works. Whatever one restricts you the most is what controls you. So if the city law, and I'll give you an example of North Hollywood, is more restrictive than the state law, then North Hollywood's moratorium and their city rules are going to control you, not the state law. See how that worked? So when it comes to landlords, when it comes to restrictions, the restriction that restricts you the most is what controls you. And please don't shoot the messenger. I know that wasn't good news. And the turtles have put themselves to bed because it's getting chilly out here and possibly rainy. Does anybody have anything else? A different tenant told me this morning that they've noticed something that looks like mold by the shower. The tenant forgot to tell me weeks earlier when it was first noticed. I mentioned to make sure the properly ventilate and turn on the vent fan when taking a shower. I also mentioned to regularly clean the shower. Consider using bleach on possible mold spots as well as use a mold or mildew cleaner. Are there any other suggestions to the tenant to have any financial responsibility? Actually, there's 2 laws that say that the tenant has financial responsibility if it's due to poor housekeeping or improper use of ventilation. So we have 2 health and safety rules that help us there, where it could be deemed the tenant's fault if it's due to improper housekeeping or poor ventilation. So what I would do is contact PRC Restoration Company. They're out of the city of Carson. Their response time is 1 hour, and they do free estimates. And they will testify for you in court. If they go out there and tell you that that's surface mildew due to lack of proper housekeeping or improper use of ventilation, you can have them address it and then bill that expense most likely back to the tenant, depending on what the verbiage in your lease contract says. Okay? But I would definitely have it addressed because you don't want it to continue to fester. Mold grows quickly. And it become a huge problem that could have been addressed just by a simple housekeeping issue. Okay. I hope that helped. Yes. And please call PRC. You guys, they're wonderful. If you tell them you're a member of Widget's Way, you actually do get a discount. So use that. I don't use them. I mean, the discounts, I don't use those discounts. So spread Widget's Way. Same thing when you call your legal counsel, ask them, do you give a Widget's Way discount? Same thing with your apartment association. Come on, you guys, I'm in with all these people trying to get you guys the best deals. So mention my name usually helps you. Just say it. Not always, but usually. Don't mention my name at the city though. They don't know who I am. We don't want them to know. In an unincorporated area of LA County, East LA, are the steps to each unit considered a common area or exclusive use of the tenant? I use the steps to give notices. Mail is dropped off by UPS, Amazon to use them. Tenant is placing plants on the steps. What should I do? They don't want to remove them. Tony, you're in LA. You're in unincorporated LA. You can ask them very nicely. I wouldn't serve a letter just quite yet because it could be considered retaliatory. I have to go get my list so that I feel better about answering those questions. Part of me wants to get up right now and run in the house and go get my list so that I can answer you. And the other part of me goes, yeah, and then the kitten's gonna get out and everybody's gonna see you chasing a kitten around with 2 turtles. Story of my life. Story of my life. It's a tripping hazard in the common area. Tell them to remove it. It's a safety violation, Tony, but have a conversation with them. Yeah, you're right. They can't cite them. But I'm going to go back to what does your lease say about the common area? Because those steps are a common area. They're not exclusive to them. In other words, there's not a gate that stops it at the bottom of the stairs so nobody can go up those stairs but the tenant. If it's open to the public, it's a common area. I have a tenant selling food from her home and the manager sees people coming and going from her home. Can I let her know it's not permitted in Pomona? Yes, you can also call code enforcement and make sure that they're aware of what's going on. Because if they cite her, you in turn would get cited, and then you could evict her for material breach of the lease because code enforcement's involved. Paying attention? I don't know if you're Mike or Ike. I think you're Mike. Hi, Mike. I don't know where Ike went. I will get back to you and show you. Thank you, Tony. I got you, girl. Send me an email. I got you all day long. How should I best reach you during the holidays if I have further questions for you offline? You guys can call me on my cell phone. That number is 855-WIDGET-5. Need me to say it again? 855-WIDGET, WIDGET 5. And unless you're bringing me candy canes, cookies, and brownies, don't call me on Christmas. I'm kidding. If you have a problem, by all means, call me. I'm here to help. Oh, thank you. All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to discuss or talk about? I got to go make sure this kitten isn't swinging from the ceiling fan. She's a cute little thing. Hey, you have no idea. That and these 2 African desert tortoises, I got my hands full. But they are literally putting themselves to bed. I don't know if you guys can see over there. She's just going in her little home. It's getting cold. They have heat lamps in there that keep them nice and warm. But they're huge. Maybe I'll put some pictures on Widget's Way on Facebook of me riding on the turtle, okay? It wasn't intent on purpose, but it ended up being rather humorous. Yes, I do pet sitting. Anything to stay in the LA area. What are you gonna do? I mean, there's this giant turtle in the yard. You don't think I'm gonna try to go sit on it and take a picture? And then it tried to walk away with me on it and didn't care. My feet didn't touch the ground. It looks like I'm riding a massive bull, but it's a turtle. It's just a turtle. Everybody, please have a very, very safe. You have to be funny in this business, Gabby, otherwise you cry, okay? And I'm done with crying. I'm not having any more, okay? No crying. There's no crying in baseball and there's no crying in property management. You got it? Everybody have a wonderful Christmas holiday. I'm actually working from home this week. I was serious when I said the COVID. I'm working all the time. I don't get any time off. Come on. The COVID has come through my household. I don't know a nicer way to say it. My daughter's been affected with COVID. She's the only person in the house that's gotten sick. She is fully vaccinated. I am not. I've been in a car with her in close contact for 6 hours a day for 4 days in a row while she had the fever, the congestion, yada, yada. I have no signs and symptoms. I am self-isolating at a friend's house that's gone for the holidays. So, hey, I'm good. Yeah, COVID's no joke. It is what it is. I will say this. They think that she has, and forgive me because I say this wrong, it's one of the new variants. Things I could tell you guys that I've learned over the course of time. Variants are never worse than the actual first thing that caused the problem. So here we have COVID, and here we have all these variants. All these variants are less deadly than COVID. So she's been sick officially. Today's day 9, I believe. Yes, day 9. She lost her sense of smell and taste. It's back already. She's ready to go back to work, but of course nobody wants to be around her. She's got a little bit of a cough, a little bit of some nasal congestion. Fever's been gone. Taste is back. She's rocking and rolling. So when you hear of these new variants, she's also 22 years old. She doesn't smoke. She doesn't drink. She doesn't have any underlying medical conditions, but she's coming back from this so quickly. It's, forgive me for saying this, this strain that she caught is no different than just having the flu for a week or two. She got the aches, she got it all, but she's ready to go back, but nobody wants to be around her. They're scared. God love her. But she's doing fine. So don't fear it. If I could say anything about it, please remember that in 2020 and 2021, no one in the United States was diagnosed with simply having the flu. Want me to say that again? No one in the United States was diagnosed of having the flu in 2020 or 2021. Kind of strange, don't you think? But she's fine. She's fine. I'm not worried about her. Nobody's worried about her. And she's fully vaccinated. So, hey, I'm not. I spent close contact with her. I didn't get sick, haven't been sick. I'm on day 9, no symptoms. So I don't know. Maybe I'm Superman and I have my shield up. I don't know. All right, you guys, have a great holiday. Merry Christmas to all of you. If you need me, you know how to hunt me down. I am available for pet sitting. I'm kidding. It just worked out perfect. So you guys have a great Merry Christmas and enjoy your family. Hug them while you have them. And I will see you next week with new updates regarding emotional support animals. Bye, you guys. Peace, Anna.